Imagine this situation. You are sleeping and see a dream about a friend who becomes pregnant. You haven't seen or thought about this friend for years. That same morning, she messages you to share that she is expecting a baby. This example illustrates a typical case of synchronicity, which is scientifically defined as the meaningful coincidence of two or more events that appear unrelated but are experienced by us. In fact, the above example of coincidence is quite common. The concept of synchronicity was first described by Swiss psychoanalyst Carl Jung in the 1920s. Dr. Jung coined the term synchronicity as the causal connecting principle, a meaningful coincidence of events that do not have a cause and effect relationship, yet are experienced as interconnected. Similar to the story with a pregnant woman, if you suddenly have a vivid dream about an old friend and they call you unexpectedly shortly afterward, this could be considered an example of this effect. In simple terms, synchronicity refers to meaningful coincidences in our lives that often seem to transcend mere chance. This phenomenon suggests that certain events may lack a direct causal relationship but carry a deeper significance or profound meaning when they occur together. The concept is rooted in the idea that everything in the universe is interconnected and that certain events or experiences may hold symbolic or greater meaning. Unexplained coincidences have been acknowledged since ancient times. People believed that surrounding objects could flirt with consciousness, drawing attention to indicate that something important needed to be noticed. Even long before Dr. Jung's studies, the Austrian zoologist Paul Kammerer documented around 100 coincidences based on personal experience, which led him to postulate that unknown forces might cause peaks and groupings in everyday events, perceived as coincidences. The famous theoretical physicist Albert Einstein called this idea of Kammerer interesting and by no means absurd. Dr. Jung believed that such events do not occur randomly, but are connected through a meaningful pattern beyond our understanding, with our consciousness playing a major role. He collaborated on this topic with the renowned physicist Wolfgang Pauli, who was awarded the Nobel Prize for his contributions to quantum physics. Together, they formulated the Pauli-Jung conjecture, which suggests that related events may share common underlying factors of a spiritual nature beyond observable physical laws. According to this conjecture, the collective unconscious serves as a repository where knowledge of past events can be stored and retrieved, even in the absence of physical evidence to support its existence. The concept of synchronicity has been a subject of debate and criticism due to its controversial nature and lack of scientific proof. It is difficult to validate its existence using scientific methods, as this phenomenon is often subjective, personal, and not easily verified by independent experiments. Critics argue that synchronicity is merely coincidental and does not indicate any deeper connection. Moreover, estimating the range of random possibilities is especially challenging in cases of personal perception, particularly when there are no objectively documented or widely recognized historical facts. The recent book, The Designed World of Information, Unveiling the Incredible Realm Beyond by Dr. Chekanov, demonstrated that it is possible to estimate the probability of synchronicity events occurring purely by chance. The book argues that a completely unbiased statistical sample of a group of people can be constructed for exploring such a phenomenon. Then, a simple statistical inference can be applied to such a group to reveal how unlikely certain coincidences are. The analysis shows that synchronicity events indeed occur, and the probability of such events arising solely due to chance or social behavior is extremely small. The book relies exclusively on well-documented historical records of well-known individuals, ensuring that any possibility of misattribution or error is entirely eliminated. In fact, the reader can easily check all historic facts themselves and use the proposed method to estimate the probabilities of such events by pure chance. The book extends the concept of synchronicity to the laws of nature, arguing that mathematics and physics exhibit mysterious coincidental patterns too. It highlights the existence of such phenomena in the world around us and shows that they have an extremely low likelihood of occurring purely by chance. Here is one observation among many discussed in the book. There are very few fundamental constants in the universe, and one of them is the speed of light. Similarly, there are only a handful of the most significant ancient structures, and one of them is the Great Pyramid of Giza. Could there be a coincidence between the fastest speed in nature and one of the characteristics, such as size or position, of the largest and the most ancient building? Remarkably, there is. The modern value of the speed of light in a vacuum is c equals 299,792,458 meters per second. The coordinates of the Great Pyramid, 29.979245 degrees N north latitude. The digits of these two unrelated numbers coincide. Amazing, isn't it? Even if a similar number is taken from the range of values which can be attributed to the uncertainty in the position of the apex of this pyramid, this does not make this coincidence less surprising. There is absolutely no way the ancient Egyptians could have known about the metric system, the units of latitude, or the speed of light with such incredible precision. Furthermore, there is no causal connection between the speed of light and the position of the Great Pyramid. The key factor lies in the nature of these two extraordinary concepts, both of which draw our attention. The first is the fastest speed possible in nature, and the second is the largest and most ancient building. These are among the most significant notions in their respective categories. Given the very limited number of most significant fundamental constants and the characteristics of the most extraordinary buildings, such a coincidence cannot easily be attributed to pure chance. This is because there are very few attributes, features, and parameters that can lead to coincidence through randomness. To put it more scientifically, the statistical sample is too small for pure chance to reveal itself. However, there is one common factor in the above-mentioned example. Coincidences occur between two most important categories that naturally draw our attention. It is our consciousness that brings out these two very prominent notions, the speed of light and the pyramid, from the many insignificant numbers and objects we encounter every day. Once they fall into the collective beam of our awareness as the most important things to focus on, numeric patterns of coincidences begin to emerge, confirming our expectations of how remarkable such important categories are. Here is another example relevant to cosmic coincidences. It is quite extraordinary that we observe full solar eclipses. This happens due to the striking coincidence between the distances of the Moon and the Sun from Earth and their respective sizes. Yet, there is no causal relationship between the size of the Moon, the size of the Sun, or their distances from Earth. This, too, is a classic example of synchronicity in nature. What stands out in this example is that it involves two of the most significant celestial objects, the Sun and the Moon. This represents a very small statistical sample of the most important things for humanity. Once we acknowledge this, the numeric patterns in the form of numeric coincidences begin to reveal themselves. It is this pattern that gives rise to the phenomenon of the full solar eclipse. Our universe consists of a vast number of complex, chaotic systems. These systems can achieve synchronized states due to physical forces, resonance phenomena, and various interactions. Such phenomena also apply to human beings and their social behavior, where information can lead to synchronized actions and patterns in individuals' lives. However, most examples of synchronicity discussed in the book and on our channel are separated by centuries and lie beyond the tangible control of individuals. This suggests the existence of a timeless realm that connects us all. This realm represents complex, non-material streams of information that move, interact, and collide. They are transcendental in nature and do not adhere to the arrow of time of this universe. These fragments of pure meaning organize themselves into foundational structures of our universe, which we understand as quanta of energy. They are the source of our consciousness and spiritual feelings. Such informational processes may manifest in this world as subtle correlations between seemingly unrelated events without direct causality. Sometimes we may perceive faint echoes of this realm of symbols and meanings in our dreams. Coincidences that lack causal relationships can often seem chaotic. However, the primary underlying factor in all such events is our awareness of what is most important for our existence. Our consciousness must first focus on the most significant objects or concepts, and once this focus is established, synchronicity begins to emerge in the form of numerical coincidences. This aligns with the Carl Jung conjecture which suggests that related events may share common underlying factors of a spiritual nature beyond observable physical laws. This perspective extends the idea of synchronicity beyond coincidences in people's lives to include the material world, as it is perceived and comprehended by human consciousness. For social behavior, the book argues that synchronicity can be most effectively established by focusing on the most important or vital events in people's lives, particularly life-threatening situations, which are typically rare. This significantly reduces the chances of randomness in such coincidences. The book presents numerous examples of remarkable coincidences from mathematics, quantum mechanics, and physics. The central principle is to focus on the most significant events, physical constants, and mathematical laws. Once these critical notions are identified, remarkable patterns of coincidences begin to emerge. Even the origin of life, which cannot be plausibly explained by pure randomness in molecular movements, can be viewed as the result of synchronic events. These events may have guided the formation of the first complex structures, ultimately leading to the emergence of life. The book concludes that numeric coincidences could be interpreted as traces of a grand design. It proposes that the dynamic interplay of atoms, molecules, and fields may stem from an informational realm, akin to Plato's world of ideas, which exists independently of physical reality. This realm operates with a different direction of the time arrow, enabling it to influence our past, present, and future. Such interactions manifest as synchronicity, perceived by us as unusual coincidences. They are faint design patterns used to form our world. They are often obscured by the background noise of cause and effect events, social behavior, and randomness, making them difficult to detect, but not impossible. Our consciousness is intrinsically connected to this informational realm. Is it possible that the informational reality behind our world's synchronicity is a kind of computer simulation? Perhaps. But ultimately, this informational realm calls for a conclusive explanation that avoids an infinite regression of causes. This primary cause can only be one: God.